I'd like to call this meeting of the Mother Lode Fair Board of Directors, I'd like to call it to order. Items listed on the agenda may be considered in any order at the discretion of the chair. All items so listed may be considered for action. Any item not listed on the agenda will not be discussed or considered by the board. Ron, could you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Sure. Please stand. Right hand salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Ed Brown.
Steve Arrogant.
Maren Paris.
Mickey Ruppert.
Missy Marino.
Ron Hamilton.
Peggy Lee.
Jan Costa.
Janice Hendricks.
We have a quorum. Can we have an introduction of guests and staff? Start with our guest.
Jeff Seska, Department of Food and Agriculture.
Thank you. Ken?
Ken Alstott.
Kathy Mazzoli. Kim Helmold.
Thank you very much. Public comment is a right granted to the public. It is reserved for items that are not listed on the agenda but under this board's jurisdiction. Please be informed that public participation under public comment will be limited to 5 minutes per speaker, and in accordance with state law, the board will not comment or otherwise consider such public comment item for business until and unless such item has been properly agendized at a future meeting. Do we have any public comment tonight?
I want to say a lot of things, but I may give about 5 minutes.
Well, we're allowing you 5 minutes. If you would like to make public comment, please go to the
I
podium.
need more than that. I'm not sure where to start. I'm just going to start. First of all, this overbooking this fairgrounds does is a complete joke. We haven't been out here 2 weeks ago called Grand Council on the Clamper. We have 3 other events booked with us. Everybody wants to know what the CEO was. The sheriff's asked us, we didn't know. You're supposed to be here on Wednesday. We have people telling us to leave this fairgrounds because their event was here when we reserved the fairgrounds. And according to today's paper, you're going to pull the same thing up on us in December when this guy comes back for the Comic-Con. I don't know where he thinks he's going to go because the Clampers have 2 buildings on the day he's going to be here. And that's just double booking again. And nobody seems to know why this fairgrounds can't stop this. So we all know the reason why, because you won't take the fair back to 4 days, so you got to make up for the lost revenue somewhere. And it seems like the Clampers are the only ones being picked on, so we're not complaining, but we'd like to know why. So the sheriff did tell us that they are not going to be here next year during our week because they don't want to inconvenience us. They were very polite. A couple weeks ago to us, they invited us to lunch. We all had a good time, but this double booking has got to stop. And then you've got a major problem with your groundwater order, who you people refuse to do anything about. This man comes in late. He's going to pull the same thing this year. And what are you people doing on the board? You shake his hand. You don't do anything to him. This man needs to be ousted here. He's a liar. He does the same rides every single year because he only has 11 big rides. He lies on his website. I have proof here to prove that. I talked to this man who never got back to me in April, the meeting we had, the CEO, who told me he was going to look into a few things because when Paul Muller got this contract a few years back, what was it, 2008, he got it for himself. He lied to Jan Hagemeyer and claimed that he owned Butler Amusements and worked for them. It was in our first section of the paper. And I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but Earl Butch Butler, his father, George Buck Butler, his wife Evelyn, they're the ones who formed Butler Amusements and bought a tilt world, 1970, their first ride. Earl owned part of it. Those 3 are deceased. Earl's wife owns part of it still, but Mountain never did. But this man continues to come in here late, and you people don't do anything. He's coming from a 5-hour show in Livingston, again on Tuesday because of the 4th the fireworks shows, it's gonna be a Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Why can't you people get someone else? Well, this man doesn't wanna be here. His own people stand out there and talk to people. Said, we're not supposed to be here. We thought the contract ended. Waiting for the fairground to tell us what they're gonna do since we came in a day late. And I was here last year in this building for a clapper meeting when they were pulling in. And I don't know why you people won't budge and do anything. Nothing's being done, everything's being looked the other way. Nobody returns phone calls. I've been waiting for 2 phone calls from the CEO, has not done anything. And I'm gonna deal with him personally next month when I talk to the governor's office. I have a phone call coming for a phone meeting. I'm trying to get a meeting with the governor himself, because this fairgrounds has got to change. I've come here for almost 60 years. I'll be 60 in February next year. I've been coming up here for 59 years. I live up here now. I know more about this fairgrounds than most people in this room. That's because my uncle lives right behind here on Story Avenue. My uncle used to be mayor of this town. He knows more about this fairgrounds than anybody in this room. And nothing changes. You people won't change anything. You just book over events. Like I said, this carnival company has got to be changed. You won't take the fair back to 4 days. I tried to volunteer down here. I've asked numerous times. Dan told me to come to me. I volunteered. Never heard anything. He asked me last November to help him find a new carnival company. He asked me to email him. I emailed him 5 companies that I can tell you about, because I'm considered a carnival expert, which I've done carnival since 1975 when I was in high school. And I never got a reply from anybody trying to help, other than someone in the office told me, Dan, nobody's talking about. I'm sorry. Paul Mallard has 2 years left. I was told about 3 months ago. But again, there's no communication out here. Why? Nothing's being done.
Thank you. Time's up.
No comment. Should I go back?
Is there any other public comment tonight?
Okay, correspondence. Did not receive any correspondence. Consent calendar. All matters listed under consent calendar are considered by the Board of Directors to be routine and will be enacted on in one motion by category in the order listed below. There will be no discussion of these items prior to the time of the Board of Directors votes on the motion, unless members of the board, staff, or public request specific items to be discussed, separated, and/or removed from this section. Approval of minutes from meeting April 26, 2017, regular board meeting. Monthly bills and receipts, April 2017. Monthly contract report, April 2017.
I have a question. I don't think the contract report went out with the agenda, did it?
It did not. That was why I,
Maybe we should put it over, that one over,
all right.
since the board members, new board members weren't able to review anything.
Okay, so that will be held over. So we need a motion to approve the minutes for April 26th and the monthly bills and receipts for April 2017.
I'll make a motion.
I second it.
We have a motion and a second. Any public comment? All those in favor?
Yes.
We can't.
We can vote yes.
Abstain.
Abstain.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Abstain.
Thank you. Motion carries. New business. Introduction of our new board members. And at this time, I'm very pleased to introduce our new board members, and we'd like to give them the opportunity to tell us a little about themselves. We'll start here with Steve Erikin.
Sure. Well, I moved up to this area in 2009. I was basically the plant manager for the Pacific Ultra Power Tracking Station biomass plant over here in Jamestown, and have been in this area since then. I'm also the president of the Foothill Pregnancy Center Board, chair board. I live up in Columbia, and I was also there for a couple of years as the Gold Springs West Association. I was also on the board there. I'm deeply in love with this community, with this area, and was asked to participate, and I would like to just understand a little bit more. I'm fairly new, obviously, but looking forward to it. Background, just real quick, I grew up in Los Angeles, went to school at UCLA and USC. I've got a couple of graduate degrees from USC. Background in engineering, business, and just love soccer, and that's about it. Look forward to doing you guys.
Thank you. Ron Hamilton.
Been here my whole life. I know most of you in the room and excited to serve on the board. I know we've had some theatrical exchanges over the course of the last year about this fairgrounds, and I just want to say that at the end of the day, we all have good ideas that we need to share and listen to. And I think it's important that when we walk out of the room, we remember that we're all here for the good of the community and the good of the fairgrounds, and that we leave as friends. I'm excited to serve on this board and work with everyone here on both sides of the table and to work with the community. What I have learned in the 4-H program over the last 43 years is there's a lot of personalities to work with and understand, and I'm eager for and up to the task. So I'd like to thank the governor and all of you for allowing me the opportunity.
Thank you. And Dennis Hendricks.
Yeah, my name is Dennis Hendricks. I was born in Sonora, raised here most of my life. I went to work early here for Pacific Gas and Electric when they still had an office on Shepherd Street. If some of you remember that. And so I worked an entire career with them, 35 years, and moved around a bit, but eventually came back here because this is my home. So I look forward to working with everybody to help to improve the community and continue to make the fair a success. Thank you.
Thank you.
And one thing I forgot, I am a veteran. I did serve in the U.S. Army for.
Thank you very much. Okay, election of vice president. So since Tom Miller was one of our board members who was not reappointed, let me back up 1 second. Peggy was reappointed also with our new directors. Tom was not reappointed, and he was our vice president. So at this time, we need to elect a new vice president.
I'd like to nominate Ron Hamilton for vice president.
I was going to say thank you. Thank you.
I'll second that.
Thank you.
Okay, we have a nomination of Ron Hamilton for vice president, and it has been seconded. Do we have any discussion? Any public discussion? Okay, we have a motion on the floor to nominate Ron Hamilton as vice president. It's been seconded. All those in favor?
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Abstain.
Yes.
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 Thank you. Ron Hamilton is our new vice president. Yay.
There aren't any
Okay.
other committees to get voted into tonight.
So, also, because of changes on the board, we have new committee assignments. For policy and procedures, it will be Jan and Dennis. Building and grounds will be Dan and Mickey. Exhibits and entertainment will be Maren and Mickey. Finance is Peggy and Steve. And the livestock committee will be Ron. The times, I gave you this paper that says the times are set for the second Wednesday of the month except for finance, which is the third Wednesday of the month. If a date or time needs to be changed, please let me know. I do put it on the calendar, the Fairgrounds website calendar, so that in case somebody wants to come to it, they can. We do not put an agenda on the calendar anymore, though. So if that needs to be changed, just let me know. Okay? Old business. signers on our bank account. And we took care of this at our last meeting. However, Tom Miller, as vice president, was to be a signer on the bank account. So now that Ron is our vice president, we will have to add him. So, and unfortunately, what we have to do as far as the bank goes is we have to make the motion that we will remove the people that are no longer on the board, that will no longer be signers. We need to remove them. So the motion is to remove those people and add the current signers and all of the bank accounts. So I have that written out if somebody would care to make that motion.
I would like to
Okay.
discuss this.
All right.
Will you read the names of those that are being removed?
Yes.
And those that are added, please.
Being removed would be Stacy Dodge, Tony Wagner, Marge Kurlick, and add Ken Allstott, myself, and Ron.
And, excuse me, according
Yes.
to your policy and procedure, and also according to your internal control, the treasurer, who is the chairman of the finance committee, also needs to be on there.
So when I looked back in the bylaws, it doesn't reflect that.
It's in your policy and procedures.
Okay,
I think it does, Ms.
And it does in the, I believe it does in the bylaws under treasurer, because the treasurer happens to be the chairman of the finance committee.
okay. So we never actually appointed chairman of these committees, so.
That was an automatic, whoever was chairman of the finance committee, I believe that's in the bylaws.
I think what Missy's saying, it is in the bylaws or it is in the policy and procedures. That is a given. I don't think there's ever been a chairman of the finance committee.
Correct.
Okay, but it does state that
Okay.
in the policy and procedure or the bylaws.
Okay, because when I looked at the bylaws, I did not
Which
see that.
bylaws did you look at?
The ones that were handed out to us, that was put in that very nice folder.
Then it is in it's either in the bylaws or the policy and procedure.
Okay.
I know it's in one of them.
Okay,
And I think the policy, the finance committee, it was more than two. And I think we, at that time, if I'm not mistaken, voted Peggy as chairman. I
No.
thought we did.
No.
no,
We did not?
No.
Or appointed her or whatever?
Nope.
And besides, right now, we only have 2 members
Right.
of each committee, so we don't.
Do we have the bylaws or policies here?
I don't. Jan might.
Don't need a chairman.
Okay, so, but she's automatically treasurer.
No, I'm not.
Well, then who's going to be treasurer?
It could be Steve. I think that's something the finance committee needs to take up.
Okay.
I mean, I don't think that it's here to argue about. I think it's something the finance committee has to take up. And I think we need to look at the bylaws and the policy and procedures manuals, what has been passed, and figure out what's right and what's wrong.
Okay, but at this particular time, the only one who has been active as a signer on our bank accounts is Marge. So,
Can I do a staff recommendation?
yes, sir.
So for operating purposes right now, the staff would recommend that an action is taken tonight from the board, whether that action is, staff wouldn't care, just that we have someone who's on the board that is a signer.
Mhm.
And then with what Director Lee had said too, is that that committee should then go in and appoint that chairperson and stuff. And I believe that committee will have a meeting on the third Wednesday. of the
Right,
month.
I think that's, if we follow our bylaws and our
Yeah.
policy and procedures, we do that.
And so staff would recommend following the procedure that's currently in place with that too. But that we do recommend, whether the motion that was just made or the recommendation, that we do have someone who's on the board or an active staff member that's on your accounts. So currently you don't have anyone that's not
Right.
an active member. And then also in that statement, I'd like to thank Marge for continuing to donate her time to
Come in and sign our
keep
checks.
bills paid,
Yes.
So for clarity here, if
Yes.
you take the recommendation and add the signers, there's nothing that prohibits us from coming back later.
Right.
And adding to that.
Correct.
Or changing, that's correct.
Got it.
But the problem is that you're going to have to redo a motion, and everyone's going to have to go back down to the bank and sign again.
Well, you have to have a resolution too, I believe.
No,
for the bank.
we don't. I went to the bank and they spelled it out exactly what we needed. We need the motion that says to remove any that we don't want, and the motion to, and then include the ones that we want on it. We have to list each account. They no longer need a resolution, and they just need, they don't even need the entire minutes, just what the motion says and who was present and who voted on it.
and secretary's signature.
Yes, secretary's signature. So that is what we need at this time. And I have no objection if somebody wants to say Peggy or Steve to be on it right now, but we need to move forward. We need,
I make a motion that Steve
Okay, so-
be added as a signer to the checking accounts.
But I think we
You gotta
We
read
will
that.
do this there.
I just think we need to look and see what it says first. We could pass something. It's up to you guys. You know, I think we've been around this circle so many times about not following the rules, that we need to follow the rules.
My recommendation for the sake of the discussion tonight, since the fair is coming and we need checks signed.
Yes.
That we put at least one person on that account or two. Maybe we take the recommendation of the vice president and someone from the finance committee and put them on that. And even if we have to come back next month and do it again, at least we do it properly and we have a signer so that we can get things taken care of and continue on with this meeting. So my motion would be, oh, I can't because it would be
I've
motion
already
for
made a
me.
motion that Steve, who is a member of the finance committee, be added as a signer.
That's fine. That's fine. Great.
And then you guys can check it out. If we did it okay, then we don't have to do it again. If we didn't, then we start over, maybe save a step.
Does he need to read that?
I think for clarity
Yes.
purposes, it should be rewritten.
So,
okay,
let me have it turn.
okay.
So you just read it and add his name too. Okay, that's your motion.
The motion is made, was made to remove Stacy Dodge, Tony Wagner, Mark Curlick, and add CEO Kenneth Allstuck, President Elizabeth.
Thank you.
Marino, and Vice President Von Hamilton, and Treasurer Steve.
It will be Esteban.
Esteban, that's correct.
Yes.
Okay,
My legal name is Esteban.
as signers to the following bank accounts at Umpqua Bank, and they're listed.
I will second that.
Okay. Is there further discussion? Is there any public discussion? Okay, so we will vote on this motion to remove Stacy Dodge, Tony Wagner, Margaret Curlick, and add CEO Kenneth Allstott, President Elizabeth Marino, Vice President Ronald Hamilton, Treasurer Esteban Erikin, as signers to the following bank accounts at Umpqua, and we have 4 bank accounts listed. All those in favor?
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Motion carries. Thank you. Okay, what now what do I do? Okay, the 2016 engagement letter for the 2015 review.
Okay, we are still working on, the CEO and myself have been working on the review letter, and we found some additional information out. There was a letter put out, which the board didn't receive on May of 2016, that required us to follow the new state law. And what it says is, and I'm going to bore you, DAAs, which we are, will need to work with your auditors to determine if revisions to the 2015 audited financial statements will be made to record the new items presented by GASP 68. That's the pension monies that are now in our balance sheet. Please note that the auditors may issue a qualified audit report if the DAA decides not to book the 2015 pension liability. We may have to go back, I see you shaking your head, we may have to go back and do our 2015 audit review over, because the accountant I talked to today, which did our audit and our review, never received this information from the fair office. So it's going to cost us more money to do the 2015 review over which we already paid, because I'll have to amend it. Plus, we have to do the next one, which is 2016. And our CEO has been working with the state to see if they'll do it for us. And so we'd like to put it over until next month, because now we know we have an additional cost because the rules weren't followed.
Okay, we will bring this up again then next month with more information. Commission structure, credit card. Peggy, has that been
Sure.
resolved?
Yes. Ken has been working with the provider of services now, and we decided to stay with the 3.5% for credit cards. At this time, we can review it after the fair. And I will read you part of his email. After speaking with representatives from the current company and making several consulting calls, we have several options that are pointing below the 3.5. He's going to keep us updated. So we're going to continue with the 3.5 for people that come into the fairgrounds and use either debit cards or credit cards to pay for their rentals or anything else, because the fair is charged the fee. Last year, we lost about $3,000 because we weren't recapturing that fee. This year, we're a little bit in the hole, about $300, because we didn't start soon enough at the beginning of the year, but we're beginning to recapture it. So we won't lose money.
Thank you. Okay, committee reports. Peggy, we'll just continue on. Finance?
Great. Okay, you received your financial package in the mail. Not in the mail, over email. I sent it to you, and I said Missy sent it to you. Did you send them the revised ones, Mickey?
Yes, I did.
Okay. For the audience, you'll be happy to know, in 2016, our revenue so far this year is $101,970. Last year, it was in 2016, it was $101,970. This year, it's $101,610. We're $300 below that. And I didn't include the state money because we received the state money last year and we haven't received it this year. Our expenditures were last year at this time $124,970. This year, through the month of April, they're $59,462. That's a significant decrease in expenditures. So we're looking much better in the expenditures. If you look at your balance sheet, if you have it with you, you'll see an error in the balance sheet. You don't have minuses in the balance sheet unless they have to do with depreciation. You see an error in the balance sheet of a minus $3,512, which is the junior livestock auction account receivable. It's been here 5 months now, so I sort of said this month, we can't do this anymore. So Ken had the state send us the entire year of that account, so we're going over it. And Kathy has been helping with it, and we have already identified a lot of revenues that have been booked twice and things that are in the wrong place, so that should be cleaned up next month, and that minus in the balance sheet should go away. On the balance sheet, you'll also see a net pension liability of $215,288, which means that is the fares portion of what we owe in the pension liability for the California Department of Personnel PERS retirement. I can only explain it like it was explained to me in the state documents. It's like paying off a mortgage. It decreases every year. Maybe it'll increase if it's judged on the whole state and it's put out once a year. This needs to go in our financial statement. So if you look at our balance sheet, it looks like we have total assets of $1,030,000, and we have just about as much in liabilities, because both of those are now in there. They're kind of figures that are not, they're not made up figures, but they will change every time. It doesn't reflect on our expenses, our income. It has nothing to do with net income, but it will be in there every month and every year from now on. It's a state law because, as you know, and you've heard, a lot of state agencies have not paid their fair share. When you run a public agency, you have your employee share that comes out of their check, which is automatically paid. And that same agency has to come up with so much and pay. There are agencies that didn't pay that much and now are underfunded by some $9 million. So it's a spread out across the state. So our balance sheet looks very good. Our cash flow bank on hand in the bank, we have $185,465 as of April 30th, with expenses, liabilities outstanding of $46,000. And we have accounts receivable, which Kathy's been very good at sending out letters every month. And I know that some of the people haven't been here before, but after the 120th day of sending letters to them, we can attach their California franchise tax statement, and we can get the money back. But it'll take us 120 days and maybe another year and a half, but we will get the money back. And our total general receivables are $457. And of course, that shows, the deficit shows from the JLA. This month, the current month, in total income, we brought in $36,542. We brought in $49,000 last year. In expenses, we had an outgo of $18,177 at the end of April. And last year at this time, we had an outgo of $30,000. So we're really ahead of ourselves over the past year and the past 2 or 3 years. So we're on the right track. It's just taking care of and keeping track of what we're spending. And the CEO and I went over the general ledger and changed some things around. It was classified. So we now have those redone. And so everyone seems to be getting better. Anybody have any questions? I have copies of these I can send to you if anybody wants any.
Kathy, didn't you tell me that we received another one of those ARs today? Which one was that?
Dolores Flores.
Which one, Dolores?
Dolores Flores, $125. Thank you. Are we good?
And remember, these are April's financials.
Right. Okay, policy and procedure.
Okay, last time we approved this internal controls, went on the website, and then we made corrections on the check signing.
We approved the internal controls. I thought we held that over.
We made changes for it. I mean, we approved most of it with changes that were supposed to be made and then brought back, okay? I thought that's what they said. Tom has all this stuff and.
So what happened was we looked at it and realized it was a generic from
Yeah, so
somewhere
we made-
else
we made some
and asked that the committee make changes, but we didn't approve it here at the board.
Okay, well, now we're gonna have to make more changes.
Okay.
Because according to the minutes, and the changes that we were going to make, the major changes were the CEO can sign up to 25,000. Okay. But now you've added VP, because this says generally the CEO, board president, member of the finance committee may sign checks. So now we got to put VP in there. So we'll be changing that again. Then we have to add contracts, because that was brought up at the last to go into this, where the CEO is authorized to create and execute contracts up to the amount of 25,000 without board approval for daily operations. So now that's going to go in. And then we have to get with Ken and find out whether there's any other changes that he wants in here on the duties and everything in the office. I contacted Tom to see the changes that he made, and he is going to be sending the copies that he has to me. He
Okay.
only has the hard copies left, so.
Okay. Also at that meeting, the committee meeting, you discussed a ticket control policy, I think?
Yeah, Ken was supposed to give us, you were supposed to give us some ideas on how you wanted the ticket control policy. And I don't.
All right, I'll send a copy tomorrow.
Okay.
And then we'll have to make sure we definitely vote on June's meeting.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Exhibits and entertainment.
Exhibit and entertainment, at our May meeting, we had two guests, Mike Miller, who's booking our local stage entertainment, came, and we talked about our local bands. We will have the final list of the bands that will be performing on, what did you say, Ken?
By Friday.
By Friday, so we'll get that out to you. We also, our Tony Wagner came, and she is taking on our wine tasting area, sort of helping us head that up.
Exhibit.
Exhibit,
Yes.
no tasting.
It might be in the works.
Okay.
Yes.
So she's helping with that. We reviewed that. We talked about our kids zone area where they'll be make and take crafts, and we are working hard on finding a sponsor for a big science display that would go here. We met today with Alicia Rock, who will be running our Voice of the Motherlode pageant. So that is a go. The Voice of the Motherlode will be on the mirror stage every evening, and we discussed today, depending on how many applicants we get, of having a Voice of the Motherlode Junior earlier in the day, and then the adults later. And so she's full of ideas and working on sponsorships for great prizes for that. So that will be something exciting every night on the mirror stage. I think that's it from our side. I'm sure Ken will have more in his CEO report on entertainment.
Okay. Building and grounds.
We met and we decided that we needed to get out and take a look at some areas on the fairgrounds. We were really interested in our main goal was to take a look at where we proposed the fencing, which is a big project that we're, well, a lot of money, I don't know how big the project, where we were going to spend that. But on the way to look at the fences, we started discussing the need for a better handicap viewing area. And our consensus was that we would use the lower level of the VIP viewing area.
This is in the grandstand area.
In the grandstand area, I'm sorry, yeah. Not at the grandstand area. But we're going to, when we do that, we're going to have to build a ramp according to ADA standards, which is feasible. And then we finally got down to, well, almost to the fences. We discussed the need for a paved walkway from that viewing area in front of the grandstand, all the way down to the far bathroom that's down there, the south end of the arena. Then, and that's actually going to be 108 feet in front of the grandstand and 39 feet across the grass area from the grandstand to the bathroom. We want to use the money that we are going to be receiving for a fence like we have at the front of the arena, down at the back of the arena, so we kind of match everything. And that's, we would start at the bathroom at the south end of the arena and go across to the end of the existing chain link fence, which again, this is another 108 feet. We would replace the temporary panels that separate the walkway and the parking area going out to the back end of the fairgrounds toward the livestock barns. And then at the south end of the arena, we have we have a double drive gate and also a people gate, and they're both in need of repair. So we discussed putting the same type of fencing and gates there. If we have money available, and it would be nice to replace the fence along the back of the grandstand and one gate. And I figured out what that gate's for. It's I think it's in case we have to get out of the arena fast. That's another exit. Okay? So I think we still need a gate in there. But the fence along there is 283 feet, so that's going to cost some money if we change from the chain link to this square tube. So that's my report.
Okay. Some time ago, you were asking for bids for roofing. Did you ever get those bids?
I heard from one contractor, and the only thing he could give me at that time was a bid for the cost for the office building. None of them have come back to me with a bid for the steel building, the steel roofs on the other buildings. I will contact them again and see if we can't get that.
Okay. Because, I mean, it's not raining today. Well, it was earlier, right? So.
And the Sierra building is the one that needs it the most.
Yeah, I just don't want us to lose sight of that.
No, we aren't.
Okay, thank you. Livestock. Ron? I am. I told you.
So we had pre-weigh on Sunday, May the 8th. 7th. I was not here. I was officiating Sue Moore's daughter's wedding in Napa, but it was very well. All the kids attended. Kim has numbers because I don't have those with me, but I believe it was 86 swine exhibitors.
Yeah, it was 134 total.
Thank you. That's all we need to know. Right? We will be doing a second non-mandatory pre-weigh the morning of Father's Day, and what this allows is for the kids to come in with our group and weigh their animals so they know where they're tracking for the fair. You know, a lot of kids try to use portable scales, and that doesn't really work well for them because they have to be calibrated. And this way they can track their progress using the fair scale because we'll be there to handle the operation. And we're working to clean up the area and paint the area. As everyone knows, Kim is a livestock superintendent this year. She's got a lot of great ideas. And she's got a good committee between the Livestock Committee and Friends of the Fair and other people that are working to help spruce up the area, make it more user-friendly for people to be aware that we are there.
Yeah.
I think is the big issue moving forward. The judges are pretty much lined out for the fair.
Judges are done.
And going to paint the office, livestock office, before the fair is the hopes. And
Next weekend.
okay, see? Come up here. So it's going well. I think that we're moving right along at pace, and Kim has done a great job stepping in at the last minute and handling this. I'm really proud of her. And we've got a lot of sponsors this year lined up for our show arenas, that are sponsoring the shows. So we've raised some money that way to help pay for some of the cost for that area. So we're really excited about that. So if you know anyone who would like to sponsor a livestock show that has a business, or is just a, I don't want to say general person, but you know, a local community person that would like to sponsor a show, or one of the awards that are given out to the exhibitors, please see Kim or Sue or myself, or have, you know, those people contact one of us, and we can certainly take care of that.
Do you have specific price ranges that you give?
For you? So if you're a first-time sponsor of a show arena, it's $250. That includes the banner. If you've been a sponsor before and we already have the banner, it's $200. And that banner hangs on during the show time. Your name's announced throughout the show. So if you're doing the beef show, you're sponsor of the beef show. And then it's put down in the barn. It's hung in the barn area for the duration of the fair. So that sponsor gets that publicity throughout the duration of the fair. As far as the awards, they range anywhere from $25 to $125 for plaques or buckles or trophies that are used to give to the exhibitors as their awards. And there's several that need to still be sponsored this year.
Put Funky Junk down for a sponsor.
She said she'll sponsor 5.
Who's in charge of that non-mandatory pre-weigh?
I am.
Okay. That came up today. That was a question today, so thank you.
Kim will be there, but I'll be there for the auction committee, and Stuart, the president of the auction committee, will be
Okay.
there. I mean, I say me because it used to be me mostly, but now, you know what I'm saying.
Okay, awesome. I'll put both of you down. All right, thank you. CEO report.
So I'd like to give a shout out to the Clamper organization that recently held their event here at the fairgrounds. And after the event, the gentleman, Ed, who's in charge of the event, the promoter of it, came in and gave $1,000 sponsorship towards the 2017 fair. And this was something they've also done for the last 25 years. So we'd like to give a big thank you to them for that. The proposal's been sent out to the Trado Corporation for this September event named Unruly Country, which would be a great event for the fairgrounds. Approximately $10,000 between rent, alcohol, and parking for that event. It also brings another event here at the fairground. The Comic Con was just done on Memorial Day. It was a great turnout from here, and talked with the promoter of that. He was very happy. He'd also contacted the Union Democrat, wrote a very nice paper, and so going into that, I'd also like to give a round of applause to the staff here at the Mother Lode Fairgrounds in 2938 for the comments received from not only Comic Con, but from the Clamper event. The gentleman expressed how helpful the staff was, and then recently too for the Stage 3 event fundraiser that took care here. We received a very nice letter from them. And so the people behind the scenes for this fairgrounds that, you know, when the applause comes in or the pat on the back for myself or the board and such, it's really the staff that's continued to do a great job over the last several months. And I know we only have one or two of them here in the audience tonight, but from the front office all the way back to the maintenance department, I'll say thank you. Some of the items that the building planning is working on is under the deferred project number 2. And so as they're coming up with these ideas and things, we also have to come up with the funding for it. We have that contract that's already been signed through CDFA. Right now, we're waiting on the approval for that to continue for a project manager. And in most instances, the state agencies have used JPA, that's state affiliated CFSA, or in the case they could use DGS. My suggestion was to use the county, who's a partner here with the fairgrounds and has offered up assistance. They have the team available, and so we're waiting for permission to do that, something outside the box. Counties have used counties, and the state has used DGS or CFSA. So this would be the first case where the state would use its own local county entity. So for the project management side of it, our thought was to help give back and support the county and use their personnel for that. So as soon as the state says yes on that, then we'll go back and talk with the county board of supervisors to see if they would be interested in doing that. That's it.
Okay, thank you. President report. So this is the first time I'm doing this, but there were several things that happened this last month. I attended Fair Day at the Capitol, and that was a first for me. We all met for a breakfast and went over a presentation. There are two bills that are being promoted, AB 1499 and SB 368. So I hung out with Marta Viola, Deputy Manager at the El Dorado County Fair, because it was my first time going and doing something like this. And she, was very knowledgeable and gave me a hand. We stopped in Berry Hill's office and Bigelow's office, and just to make them aware that we were supporting these two bills that are for fairs. So 1499, AB 1499 gives us some of the tax money back into our budget. And SB 368 is actually language that gives CDFA the authority to allow us to spend the money, something that they used to be able to do. Jeff, do you have comments on that?
I think there have been so many bills that have come across my desk related to fairs. I would have to look. Is that the one that was providing more flexibility to put unallocated monies into the F&E fund for the purposes of deferred maintenance? Is that the bill? And I apologize.
It got a little confusing. SB 368, authored by McGuire.
Okay, I think that's the one that was taking unallocated amounts of monies for other purposes and basically allocating them for deferred maintenance activities. And basically, if that's the same bill, basically we reviewed it. It's basically giving the department a little bit more flexibility in how we use the monies. And whenever a state agency can be given more flexibility, we're usually, thumbs up, that works.
Right. So it was explained to me that at one time, this language was there that allowed CDFA to go ahead and disperse those funds, but the way it is right now, we have to jump through a whole lot more hoops in order to get the funding through the Department of Finance.
Okay. I think that, if I'm remembering the right bill, I thought it was specific for deferred maintenance activities, but I know there was another bill that allowed monies for just the yearly allocation. So I do apologize. There's been so many bills and
Right.
there's been so many variations of the bills the last couple of months that if I don't have it in front of me, I'll sort of.
And Missy, can I make a comment?
Sure.
1499 passed out of Governmental Organization Committee, which is the committee that all bills with money in it go. And then it goes to Finance Committee, and it sits there until the budget passes, or it goes to, it depends on if there's an adjoining bill on the other side, and then it goes into conference, and then it's mediated, so to speak, to see if who's gonna get their fair share of the money.
Is that the one that was taking so much of the sales tax?
Yes,
rate
yes,
down?
yes.
I think it was amended and some
Innocuous thing got put in it?
Some other language was incorporated, which sort of, it was almost like a conditional language that was added.
Did it gut the bill or just add to the bill?
It added to the bill conditional language that the money could be spent for the fairs, conditional if. So if it's, because I thought something crossed my desk just a few days ago and I looked at it and it looks like there's a few more strings attached. So.
Yes, so nothing's going to happen until appropriations meets the budget.
Appropriations meet, and I know their deadlines are coming up this month very quickly, so next month, June.
At any rate, Fair Day at the Capitol was a very educational experience for me. Got to meet a lot of great people from fairs, and I enjoyed the experience very much. The parade, we had the people mover in the parade, and we had board members and friends of the fairground and 4-H and FFA, and we had the banners on the people mover, and we went down the parade route. The kids handed out these little cards talking about the fair, when it is, and it was well received because we kind of watched the kids. Were told not to hand them out to other kids, hand them out to the adults so that, you know, they could read it and make sure they were coming. And we didn't see anyone say, no, I don't want it, or throw it aside. We saw people reading them. And so that was a really good sign. And everyone was friendly. It was a great time. Of course, it's the parade. Everybody loves a parade. So we had a really good time. Thank you for everyone. And Peggy, especially, thank you for the use of your truck and your stepson and nephew. They were a lot of fun.
Oh, good.
And
I had an operation, I couldn't go.
But it was we had a great time. It was a great day. So that was wonderful. And then here recently, Mickey and I went over to the Calaveras Fair where there was a WFA area meeting, and it was being hosted by the Calaveras Fair, and we got to jump a frog. I am no good at jumping frogs, but Mickey got hers to go the furthest of anyone there. Opie, yes. So we enjoyed that. And at our area meeting, basically it was just the other fairs, and not all could attend, just talking about what's going on at their fairgrounds and you know, how things are going. So once again, it was nice to get to meet people. And we had a good time. And I really had to drag Mickey along with me. And once she got there, she did the best, you know, with that frog, I tell
Did
you.
they teach you how to hold the frog? So you have to hold
Yes.
them out like this because they have
Yes.
a problem urinating backwards?
Oh, I didn't hear about that, but they did teach us.
I didn't tell her that.
I used to do the frog jumps at the Capitol, so yes,
Oh,
I
okay. So, but you have to hold the frog a certain way, and it has to, once all of its feet are on the pad, then you have to try to get it to go. So, anyway, my frog was just not happy to go. I think it jumped 1.5 feet. So.
I got a picture of it. Bring it to you next month.
At any rate, it was a great time. I've been having a good time this last month. Matters of information, friends of the fairgrounds, please.
All right. My name is Bart Blue. I'm president of the board of the Friends of the Fairgrounds. First off, I'd like to welcome the new board members of the Fair Board. Happy to see you here. Secondly, I'd like to thank Peggy Lee for the flowers in the flower beds. They're looking good.
We're not done yet.
It's all flat out there. I was going to take them home.
All right, also the Sonora FFA has been working on some animal silhouettes that'll be placed along this main drag down towards the livestock area. That was the objective, and I think they have those done. So our next meeting is June 8th at 5:15, and we'll be meeting in the conference room at the office. So that's about it for right now.
Thank you. Director's comments. We're going to start with me tonight. I would like to thank our past directors. Tom Miller, he was appointed in September of 2015, and he was not reappointed this last time. But we would like to thank him for everything that he did while he was on the board. And Marge Kurlick, who has served on our board for a very long time. I found November of 2007, or was it before that?
Or a little before then, but that's close enough.
And she served on the board in many different capacities. Most recently, she helped us out by being our interim CEO when we were searching for Ken to come on board, and she really helped us out so much. I can't thank you enough. Okay. So, go ahead.
Oh, are we jumping to my comment?
Okay.
I guess it has to be my comment.
Okay.
So, just if Marge could come up, we just had some flowers. And I wanted to add my thanks for all Marge has done for our fairgrounds.
That's good, yeah.
Thank you. Oh my God, it's gorgeous. Thank you, I didn't expect that. But I haven't gone away because I'm working with Bart and Wes is going to do, we're getting Friends of the Fair off the ground, so.
We're
we have a
not
group
letting her go anywhere.
I'm not going anywhere, I'm going to work on Friends of the Fair, so we'll be just fine. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Did you have other comments?
I just wanted to welcome our new board members. Welcome aboard. And I also wanted to say that I attended the Sonora Comic-Con this weekend with my family. I did not dress up. My kids did. But I am just really excited for having new, diverse events at the fairgrounds. If you came, I would say, I said it's not my tribe of people, but I'm glad that we are bringing in new people, and I saw a whole nother group of young people that now are going to have a connection to the fairgrounds who probably will never raise a cow, but they'll have, and that's what we need is to bring in I think our fairgrounds should be a meeting place for every corner of our community. So I'm glad and welcome more of these types of events.
Steve?
I really don't have any other comments. I'm just glad to be here and getting to know you guys. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Dale?
I too would like to welcome our new board members. I'd like to thank everyone that's attended this meeting and that has attended past meetings. We need your support, and hopefully we are doing things the way you would like to see them done. We're trying to improve. I think it's shown. It is being shown that we are. Okay. Thank you.
Vicki?
Yay, we have a full board, CEO, wonderful. Looking forward to the next several months and getting our fair off the ground. I think it's going to be a great fair this year. Went to the Denim and Diamonds and Denim event. I thought you guys did an awesome job on that. It was a wonderful event. I even smoked a cigar. Kind of. So just thank you to the new board members for joining us and get to know each other. We're going to have a good year.
So this is what I've learned tonight.
Okay.
Mickey has a funky jump frog, she smokes cigars, and frogs can't pee backwards. I am so glad I'm on this board. Urinate backwards, excuse me. I have friends ask me all the time, what can I do to support the fair? And I want to tell you the best thing you can do is tell everyone to come to the events here. There's a lot of great events, and like what Maren was just saying, it may not be something that you've been to or that you know much about, but that's the great thing about coming to something new. And one such event that's coming in June is the Coming Unity Dinner, where we are going to serve dinners to all the first responders in Tuolumne County. The ones who are off shift will come here to the fairgrounds for a dinner. That'd be fire, ambulance, police, sheriff, health attack, PHI, medical, all of them will be here that night for dinner. Those who are on duty, we will actually deliver dinner to all their stations that night for every corner of the county. We'll do over 1,100 dinners. And we're selling tickets to that event to help support it. And I think it's a way to show our community how much we appreciate the fact that when they put on that uniform every day, they don't know if they're going to go home to their families, and we owe them a debt of gratitude. So I appreciate being put on this board tonight. I appreciate your confidence in me, and I look forward to an exciting couple of years.
Thank you. I'd like to welcome the new board members. I've known Ron since he was about maybe 8 years old. He taught my daughter to wash pigs.
Everything to be
Now we know
known
something
for.
about you too.
And his aunts and uncles and brothers and, not brothers and sisters, uncles and aunts. I'd like to thank everyone for being here. It's incredible. I'm glad you guys continue to come. I think it's important to the fair that we continue to get support from the audience. I'd also like to tell you that the clampers were great when they were here. And I don't think anybody really knows, they were 5 states here at the fairgrounds. I was planting flowers that weekend. I've never had so many help from campers in my life. I was hoping maybe they wouldn't help me as much as they did. We'll be planting again tomorrow from between 7:30 and 10, and on Saturday, and Ron's already offered to help a little bit. That's if Dan gets over here and decides where else he wants to plant. But we have flowers all over. We have about 5,000 flowers out.
I'm not planting 5,000 on Saturday.
No.
Oh.
We've planted a bunch so far. I come over and water them at 7:30 and 4:30. So it should look good by there.
And in between.
What?
I said, and in between.
Let me know.
I will.
Jan?
Welcome, new board members. We're glad you're here. And some of you I've known for quite a while. Sat on the board with you before. And I think you'll enjoy working with this group of people. They're pretty neat. And Peggy and Dan, thank you. Everything is looking beautiful where you guys planted, and you did a heck of a job out there so far. And I think it's going to look beautiful at fair time. And thank everybody. Thank you for being here.
Dennis?
Just briefly, I'm encouraged to come and learn and to help out. And I was talking to Ken earlier today about the ticket packages, and from what little he was able to share with me, I think it's a great idea, and I look forward to seeing that being very successful for the fair. Thanks.
All right, thank you. Future agenda items, of course, the two things that we're holding over. Is there anything else that needs to be on next month's agenda? You'll send me a list? Okay.
I would like to address however we can come up with some additional help when we're having events to get the buildings a little bit better dressed. I think that there was a little bit of an issue with an event recently that I think that we can address, getting the spider webs and the dust, get it cleaned up a little bit better. So,
Okay.
I don't know how we're going to do that, but it's going to take money and.
I have a Webster you can use.
I'm willing.
We can have a work weekend, and
Yeah.
the board can come down here and do it.
Mhm.
That's what we're here for.
We'll get 4-H on board.
We'll have a work party during the week, because on the weekend is when the buildings are
Or
rented.
Interact Club.
Yeah.
There are a whole bunch of people.
Okay. All right. Our upcoming board meeting will be Wednesday, June 28th, 5:30, right here in, this says Administration Building, but it's actually going to be here in the Creekside. Okay, if there's no further business, can we have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second?
Those in favor?
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Meeting adjourned. Thank you very much.